Hello guys, welcome back to Blueprints, episode number 2. On day number 1, I sort of explained that at some point in time I did play this game already, so it's a bit hard to do a second playthrough, but it's a bit of a, that's what it is, a second playthrough. Sort of playing the game and we're solving the puzzles when we have enough information. That means, for instance, the first day we found the computer. I obviously, from my first playthrough, I know the password. We did not use that yet because we haven't not found it yet. We found the password, but we know we can't read it without a magnifying glass, so we need to get our hands on that in the commissary or something. Day number 1, we obviously found the entrance hall. We found the spare room, pretty much an empty room. The parlor is a puzzle game. We found the nook where we found a key. We found also a note with the word beside in italic. Also in the pantry we found a note with the word bridge in italic. And in the office we found a note with the word west. So there is something going on in the west beside a bridge. There is something happening. What, we don't know yet. We found the den as well. We also found security. Seems to be a pretty important room within this thing. Seen this was the first room where we got a cutscene before we walked in. And we saw ourselves walking in, pointing at the screen, and on the screen we saw ourselves standing in front of all these screens, and then our guy that we were pointing at was pointing at the screens. So there's also something going on with these screens. The antechamber and room 46, wherever that is. Antechamber, we know from the message in the office that there is a west and an east entrance for sure, which need to be opened by pulling a lever. And we know that the lever in the greenhouse is broken. So we kind of know that there is a lever in the greenhouse. We haven't seen the greenhouse yet though. We found the bedroom, where it's basically a zero room. You go in and out, costing you 2 steps, but you gain 2 steps when you enter the room. So that's a zero room. It doesn't cost you any steps. We found the boudoir, where we found a picture of Christmas time. We also figured out there's something going on with the paintings. There I did fast forward and I gave you more or less the solution of the grid. If we count small gates, 8 dates crack 8 safes, so we know that we have to crack some safes. 8 of them, but from the letter in the office we know we will only find 7 letters because somebody is blackmailing our great uncle Herbert and has rehold one of the letters. So they kept one for themselves and the other letters sort of appeared, and we will probably find them all across dimension. You see the boudoir plus 2 rolling die. That has to do with the fact that we found an upgrade disc and we could upgrade the boudoir. From what we know from other playthrough, we know there are like about 16 upgrade discs, I think, so there are rooms that you can upgrade. The computer decides which room you get. Eventually you will get all 16 rooms that you can upgrade, I guess, in some sort of order. I can't remember. I don't think, for instance, that in my first playthrough that the boudoir was the first one that I got for the upgrade option. This time it was the boudoir, so that seems to be a bit RNG, which one you get. But I'm assuming spread over the 16 upgrade discs, you will always get the 16 same rooms. The options we had there was upgraded with 1 gem, with 3 apples, or with 2 rolling dice. We decided to go for the rolling dice. That seemed us the most efficient for future ways. Hallways, we found 2, the hallway itself and the corridor, which always has unlocked doors. The green rooms, so far we only found the courtyard, which has digging spots. We know there is a shovel. We bought one the first day in the commissary. So we can dig up some keys, gems, coins, or turnips, which will give you extra steps, or some other stuff at some point in time probably. And we found 2 of the shops, being the commissary, which sells items, and the kitchen, where you can get extra steps, food in other words. And red rooms, unfortunately, we also found red rooms are negative effect. The lavatory is completely empty. That's the negative effect, I guess, of that room. There is nothing there. It's a dead end. You keep getting it because it's very common. So you want to get that lavatory as quickly in your house as possible so that you later on, when you definitely don't need it, that it doesn't show up anymore. So that's one of those rooms that we will drop in a corner here or there where we can put a dead end. The chapel, the negative effect of that is it costs us every time you walk through it a coin. But the benefit of that is that if you drop that room early when you don't have coins yet, it doesn't cost you anything. We also found the 8 Aegeran angels there. They were Roman numbered. We have noted that we gave them a name, so the chef and the farmer and the baker, and we will see when we use it. And the gymnasium, which basically killed us our first day because we had it in such a place that we had to go through it every time, and every time we lost 2 steps, which was our only way up. So that's sort of the summary of day 1, and now we start day 2. Although meanwhile I've been to the bakery while the game was still open, so it's already 2:30 in the afternoon. Normally you start at 8 in the morning, but here we are. From now on we will go a little bit faster. Obviously we sort of know how the things work. The paintings we will check. We know what the message is, but we will check to confirm it. We'll do the parlor here. We know we can get 2 gems there. Here is our stupid lavatory. It's a bit risky putting it here, but we can still go around it though. Actually, I think I'm going to do that. Might be a bit risky, but we know that this row here, the word is 8, so this should be a G. And it is a bridge and a bride. Is that our bridge? Besides the bridge? We know. A bridge and a bride indeed is a G. As usual, it is completely empty, the lavatory. But it's one of those rooms you want to get rid of as quickly as possible so that it doesn't show up later on. And now of course we have to do the den here so that we have access to these squares here. That's what we will do, and we will pick up that thing. Other than that, we noticed the pine tree and the pin. So over here again an E that confirms it for the word saves in the bottom row. We know that. And we also know we always get a gem here. There are a bunch of clocks here, and also some swans and a pawn. That's also something we know. We're looking for chess pieces whenever we can. Here we could potentially, no, let's first draw this room and see what we get here. If we can go up, then we go up. If we can go up and right, that would be ideal. Then we could potentially squeeze in another dead end here. If this thing only goes up, then we need to have a corner room here to get to this square. Sort of try to fill up the grid as much as we can. Like in this case, I think I'm just going to put the spare room here. We're not going to go even in that room. We know it is empty most of the time. Sometimes there is something on the seat, but I don't see anything there, so I don't think I'm even going to bother going into that room. Now we're looking for an L shape here. We have the nook, we have the kitchen. We're going to go for a key, or do we going to go for the kitchen? Then we have it in the house. Then we can always come here to buy food. Let's go for the kitchen this time. See, we had the gem pretty early, because that gives us the option to check the menu of the day. It's a porterhouse steak, and if we want extra steps, we need to find the showroom. Then we can get 30 steps for the course. We have tomato soup, which gives us 5 steps for every red room in the house. We already have the lavatory in there. We probably at some point will get the chapel as well. So yeah, that could be some decent amount of steps for 5 coins. So yeah, we might actually have to put some red rooms in our house today. Then we can get for only 5 coins, we can get a lot of steps. Club sandwich is 8 coins for 15, and bananas, we know 2 coins for 3 banana steps. and the top one you can always get 5. So in theory, if we have 10 coins, we can get 15 steps from the bananas as well. So this is 10 coins for 15 steps, this is 8 coins for 15 steps, and this is 5 coins for, depending on how many red rooms we have in the house. And here, yeah, we'll see. Potentially could do a dead end. Let's do the breaker box. We have not seen that yet. We have access to the buff here from the spare room. So if we can get a T-shape here, then we're fine. Let's do the breaker box. That is a cart and a car. So this is a T, which confirms the word 8 here, ending on a T. So, what we got here? We got a gymnasium. We're gonna definitely put that off. What that effect has is that if we now get gymnasium, which would be good for our kitchen, we can put the gymnasium in as a red room now. It's not gonna cost us step if we cut the power. We're not gonna lose steps there. So that's good. The dark room, it doesn't matter if you put it on or off. Whenever you enter the dark room, the fuse will jump anyway. You're gonna have to come back here to put the light back on so that you can see. We're gonna put the power on the garage on. And then we have the keycard system. We can put this off. And if we then get the security, we know that from the first episode that we can change the keycard system there. Either you leave it on, if you find a keycard you can open it, or you put it off here, which means the power is cut, and if we then in the security computer put the whole system down, then we can just open security doors without having the need of a keycard. This is always, do you put it off now or later? That is something you decide. You know if you put it off that you need the security to make the system fail. Or you leave it on in case you find the keycard, then you don't need to put it up in the computer anyway. Then you can just leave it on and open the door that way. I'm gonna put it off. If we find security, that saves us the trouble of coming back. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Bunch of colors here. Obviously we have not the clue yet. I know the solution, of course. Seeing I already played this like a year ago, but it's a matter. What's going to be a matter in this series here is how much do I remember. We don't know the solution of this, so we're not solving it yet. That's sort of how we're going in this playthrough. I will only solve things when we have the clues figured out. This is a tack and a stack, so this is an S. So we need to find ourselves a security room. Let's first pick up some gems again. Seeing we lost the gem from the den in by dropping the kitchen, but we know we have the parlor here, so we know we can get 2 gems here if we don't fail that. Always check the tables as well to see if there's nothing else. Sometimes there is items in the room, and we also know from the last time that there is a pawn here as well, chess piece. What we need the chess pieces, we have no clue. There are 3 boxes in this room. That is definitely true. 2 boxes in this room are empty. That is also true. So we know that the black one is lying because we need to have at least 1 lie, at least 1 truth. We don't have a lie yet, so this is lying. This box is one of the 2 empty boxes. That's a lie, so which means it's not empty. So that means the gems should be in here. Early days, simple puzzles. Later on, they will become more difficult. Okay, here I would like to have a T shape though. Going up and left would be nice. That's not the case. It's going to dead end us pretty quickly. You may draw new floor plans while drafting in this room. The closet is going to give us 2 items. The storeroom is going to give us a key, a gem, and coin. But they are both dead ends. Then we put all our power on the spare room. I'm going to go for the drawing room because we have not seen that room on day 1 yet. Each time you click on a door, you will draw 3 floor plans, from which you must select one to draft. However, there are some items and rooms that will allow you to redraw if you do not like your initial 3 options. Yeah, we know we have the rolling dice, which are redraw dice, basically. If you don't like your options, if you have one of those, you can use one of those dice and re-roll. And then also in this room, apparently, we can do that. There are 1001 pictures in here. What about chess pieces? We have a pawn again here, so this is another pawn room. Here's our great uncle. Sitting in the drawing room on a chair, which is that chair in front of the chimney, with candeliers over there. And this is also something where we'll go a bit fast forward in time. On my first playthrough, I think it took 5 or 6 times drafting this room to realize that on the picture the chandelier on the left has been broken. And that's something that you have to look at it like this. You're looking at that same picture there, and then you see like, hey, why is that arm bent? And one of those days I decided to try that, and then this happens. Another save in our inventory. Now, of course, we know from the message from the grid that we need to look for dates, and that we are counting small things. And in this case, we have some small steps, some big steps. So that's one way of solving this thing. But what I did in my playthrough, I was looking at these pictures and I saw like, hey, there are the same people all over the place. So what I did was trial and error. Some might call it brute force, but it's not really brute force because we just tried it out. So what I did was I looked around the house and or the room in this case, and I just noted down what was going on. So I counted the Lord, as I call them, the one with the high head. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of those, and then I counted the horses, I counted the small guys, I counted the ladies, and I counted the umbrella guys. And then we just tried something. In other words, combinations of that to see if we could open the safe. But once we have the grid, then you know you need to count small things. So you need to call the ones which are doing small steps, which is the umbrella guy and the ladies. All the other guys, the horse, the Lord, and also the kid, they are doing big steps. So small steps are the ladies, which is 4, and the umbrella guys, which is 15. So whether you type in 1504 or 0415, that doesn't matter. That has to do with that dating again, American connotation versus European connotation. Both work. So you can do 0515 or 1504. This is our third save that we cracked, letter number 6. The letters, they are numbered, but they're different. Like in this case, it's just written 6. Letter number 4 was a digit 4, and the other one that we found was, I think, a Roman numeral, I think. Of course, the letter is written on April 15, which is the date that you type in to open the save. Dearest Mary, I know all the events of the past you have catapulted you into your way not have been ready for. It's cruel, The way time rips through our lives, leaving them known and fruitless like mid-season plans. Throughout this all, I know your principal concern has always been Simon. Mary is our mother, we know that. She also goes by the name of Marion. We also figured that one out from the other letter. Daniel was our father. So in this case, it's someone writing to our mother this time. Probably our great uncle. Take responsibility and ensure that regardless that your current project, Simon is shielded from my fallout and good. So yeah, here he is. I think it's from Herbert, telling our mother that she doesn't have to worry about us. He will take care of us. I of course will like in the hope. Of course, when you play through this, you can always read that and make some notes if necessary. If there are some things that you might wonder what is that all about, just write it down. That's pretty much what you have to do in this game anyway. If in doubt, make a note of it. It might be useful later on. And while 2 years might seem like an eternity to a mother, I've always heard the days pass quite more quickly than it. So apparently she's already disappeared for 2 years without seeing us. As for me and you, I have already come to terms that our meeting yesterday was very likely our last. So Herbert met her somewhere on this estate, maybe? At least somewhere. Maybe downtown, what's called Reddington. We know that from the post card that we found. I'm too old and too stubborn to ever leave this place. So she left for some reason, disappeared in between empresses. We don't know where she is, but she left, and apparently that was 2 years ago. I've been too attached to the house, so but Herbert doesn't want to leave, so he stays here. It's your Uncle Herbert. It's Herbert writing to our mother. I have a strong premonition I will be buried in red soil under red flags. Yeah, there is some political game playing in the background in such a way that stuff is going on. Everything is red here. We have red letters, red soil, red flags. So we're in the red country, I guess. A compromise I know yourself would never accept. So our mother fled away from the red people. She doesn't like going by this letter. Herbert is sort of telling us that our mother did not like whoever is in charge of the red, and so she disappeared. Been a joy watching you grow up and getting to know you. Your mother and I spoke a little during your school days. I know she would feel the same bittersweet pride I feel now to see you following in your father's footstep and making the same sacrifices he did. So that would be your father's footstep, your Uncle Herbert. So that would be his brother then. Yeah, because our mother is, for our mother, Herbert is Uncle Herbert. And here he mentions your father's footstep. So apparently her father, the brother of Herbert, also didn't like the red people. Okay, so yeah, there is some political game going on in the background, of which we do not know anything about. Well, we cannot draw from that door, so what we need here is something to get us out of here, because the only other option up is spare room at the moment. Security seems to be a good plan. We can redraw. This is the benefit of the drawing room. You can redraw once by using the pencil here. We're not going to do that. We are going to go for security because we put up the power of the security doors. So we need the computer here to also disable the security system, which means we do not need any keycard to open the doors. We put up the power in the utility breaker box, and we will do the rest in the computer. And that also gives us the option to, in the bottom square, to potentially put one of these stupid dead ends. No cutscene this time. That's only the first time when you walk in. What I pointed out at the end of the video, at the end, there is also a knight here, chess piece. And then there is something going on with these screens here, of which sort of cameras pointing in the different rooms in the house. We know that first one is the spare room. We have no idea what that is. What is that? I can barely see it. That is the nook. Another room we have seen yet. This is the office. No idea. That's the hallway. That is security, and no idea. So there's something going on here. Spare room. Don't know. Don't know. Nook. Don't know. Office. Don't know. Don't know. Hallway. Security. Don't know. We need to see more rooms to figure out what is going on here. Don't even know what any of those rooms are. That's the nook again over there. And what's going on here? Seems to be this swimming pool of some sort. And that I don't know. Anyway, we'll figure it out as we go. That's not something, whatever we need to do there, we cannot solve because we don't know any of these rooms, half of them. Estate inventory, we just started, so obviously we have not missed anything. Keycard system, that's where we're here for. The keycard system is now offline because we cut the power in the break box. So what we're gonna do now is set the security level to high, so that there is a high chance of getting keycard doors, which is what we want, because we can unlock them here, and the power is cut, so we can just open them without any keycard needed. So once you can cut off the power and you have access to the security computer, you can put them on high unlocked with no power. You can just open them. Then they just become normal doors which are unlocked, because we just unlocked them here. If you don't have the breaker box, then you want to put this on low and locked, and then hope that you find a keycard. But then there is a low chance that you find security levels doors. If you put it on high, you can get 6 or 7 of these doors. If you put it on low, then you will only get 1 or 2. But in this case, we cut the power, so we hope on as many of these doors as possible. Then we don't need a key or a key card to open any of these doors. So that's why we put it on high. That also means that there will be less normal doors locked, because they will be replaced with security doors, which means we need less keys to open the normal doors. That's sort of the story behind that. And then over there we're gonna drop a dead end, if we can. L-shape is a way out, Nook is a way out, which means we're running into a dead wall of the parlors. We actually have to go for locksmith, I think. It's gonna cost us the only gem we have, but it is a dead end and it is what we were looking for. Press R and see what is going on. Considering the amount of floor plans and different doors that can appear on any given day, it was only a matter of time before a full-time locksmith service became an essential requisite on the estate. The cost is 1 gem, it is a shop, it is unusual, so level 3, so it doesn't show up that often. It's the first time we dropped it. That's the combination here. So if we look at shops, we now also have the locksmith, so we have 3 of the 8 shops. Let's see what we can buy here. We can buy 1 key for 5 coins, 3 keys for 12 coins, so a bit of a discount. We can buy a special key for 8 coins, and we can buy a lockpick kit for 10 coins. Okay. And we have dessert and desert. So we have an S here which is this S of safes, which is the bottom word. Yeah, this is 8 safes, the 2 bottom rows. Now, of course, now we have the risk if we draw the rooms with gems. We don't have any gems, but so now we're gonna have to find some keys and some gems. West Wing Hall. We got a guy in a boat rowing, so that is row and crow. That will be the bird. So it is a C over here, which is the C of the word crack, which is the word in row number 3. Staff notice June 15th, 1983. That's 10 years ago, because our game plays in 1993. Out of respect for the late Lady Clara Espen, a new name that we can fill in our name. Lady Clara Espen. Okay. The west wing will be closed until further notice. While the floor plans associated with this wing have not been removed from the pool, we ask that staff members refrain from drafting them during this period of mourning. So Lady Clara Espen passed away on, well, maybe not on June 15, but definitely in 1983, because they are mourning over her. Likewise, any... No, the rest of the text is probably... This is just to let us know that Lady Clara Espen, which was either the wife of our great uncle or the wife of his brother, which would make it the mother of our mother, which would make it our grandmother. Okay. Make a note of it. Chapel is a waste of an exit. Bedroom goes into a dead wall, so corridor is the way to go here, I guess. We got a tie and a tier. Tie and tier makes it an R. We're still building the word crack here. Everything on schedule. Hallway seems to be a good one here, which gives us extra options to go up. Okay. This is a lie, we know that from the security. A fishing rod and a road, the rod and the row, the A from crack. Here... At the moment we only have one way going up, or if we have to go back down, there is only one way to go down. So maybe we need to connect the spare room. But if not, we also want to get higher, so then we might have the risk of leaving that our only exit, which means in case we have to come back for some reason, for instance to buy food in the kitchen, that's going to cost us a lot of steps. We'll see what we get. The chapel might be an option. Also a good time to draft it, we have no coins yet. Closet is a dead end. The bedroom only goes up. Chapel goes up and down, which means we sort of leave this square open, but that's fine, which gives us 3 options to go up next to the hallway and the west wing. So I am going to go for the chapel. And we can even go in, we have no coins. Connects to the spare room, which also gives us an option to give a quicker move to the kitchen here from this side, that we don't have to go over the west wing. That's why I've chosen this. Yeah, the bishop is still in the chapel. So the chess pieces seems to be room related. The letters from the paintings are square related in your grid. I'm gonna go for nook here. Storeroom is a dead end. The pantry goes to the left, which is, we don't need to go to the left because we already have connection to the hallway to that square. So we're gonna go right here. pick up some resources. The Nook still has a rook, so that hasn't changed. We have written that note. We know the word beside is something important. We also know there's some stuff going on here, but we can't see it. We need to find something magnifying to make that happen. We have no gem, unfortunately, otherwise the courtyard would have been perfect here. The terrace has the effect that green rooms do not cost gems to draft, which means that if we run into the courtyard again later on, it will not cost us any gems. It might be an option to check out. It's also a room we haven't seen yet. We also haven't seen the closet yet, but the closet is just a closet with 2 items in it, by the looks of it. So either way, both of these are a dead end. We do not have a gem to draft this room, which would be a way to fill up the squares here. But so I think the most interesting one here is the green room cost of the gems. Let it go. And it's also a new room which we haven't seen yet. So let's figure out what's going on with this thing. It is indeed a terrace. Oh, look at that. An orange, that is the highest food we can get. 5 steps. Banana is 3, apple is 2, so orange is the best of the fruits. It's not the highest fruit, not the highest food we can get, because there is something as like a cupcake, which is 10, I think. Other than that, yeah, there's also something going on with statues. That's pretty clear. There are statues in the chapel, in the entry hall, also a statue outside. Don't know exactly where we are. There's no path here. Yeah, east of the house, obviously. I think we walked there in the next to the wires in the first episode. So that's that path there, and then behind the rocks is the gate, which had a path, but okay. Other than that, so an item on the table, maybe. I think it's more the purpose of the other rooms. So we want to get green rooms now, as many as possible. They will not cost us gems. Yeah, we did not draft it yet. We had the courtyard yesterday already, but the terrace, not so much. What do we want here? Something that goes up and left, preferably. Now the courtyard is here. But it doesn't cost a gem this time. We don't have a shovel, so we cannot dig. There's also no items in these. Last time we had a sledgehammer here. We want to go right mainly. We don't need to necessarily go to this square because we can get there from the west wing. Okay, the game doesn't want to let us go right. Not looking good. We are still okay in steps. We still have 30 steps, so we don't need this. We have seen the bedroom already. It goes into a dead wall of the corridor, so it's also there are 3 dead ends basically. So let's do the closet because we have not seen that yet. And then hope that there is a shovel or something. No. What's this? A gem and whatever this is. A sleeping mask. The first time you enter each bedroom with the sleeping mask, you gain 5 steps. Wonderful. We don't have any bedrooms, so that's not going to help us much. And we have a cot and a coat, so we have a letter A over here, which confirms the word dates. Okay, which does mean, of course, that we have put all the power on the west wing, and if we do not have an exit there, we have a problem. We have to go for the dark room. You cannot see the floor plans while drafting in this room. That's what you say. Security doors, not a problem. We can surpass those. We have put up the system. Talking about the system. It's going to cost us some steps. We're going to have to go back. We're We're gonna have to go back to the breaker box because dark room was one of the options. We have no coins to buy extra steps while we were here. So we'll put on the power. Now what I don't know is, it is possible that we actually had to go into that room. Hopefully the fuse doesn't blow again. No, it doesn't. Okay. If you come into this room, the fuse blows. Even if you put... the light was off to begin with now. But even if you put the light on in the dark room, then you come in here, it will blow the fuse, and then you have to go back to the breaker box to put it back on. But that does mean that we can see now. Negative of some of the pictures of the mates or something. That's our great uncle. He's the photographer, I'm assuming. Okay. Well, we see a hand on a picture. I have no idea who these people are. He's holding a note which we cannot read, so that's again magnifying glass stuff. This is an enhanced version of that picture. That's our great uncle Herbert again. That's the same picture as the other one. This is the orchid outside. We know there is a lock there. There is something written in this as well. Could very well be the code. We have a car and a cart, so that should be a D here, which confirms the D from dates. Do we have these mates again? This is a more finished picture of the mates. I'm assuming one of them is Bridget. No, that is still in development. And what is she doing? She's sitting in the office, the king room, which is the office, the computer. She's reading something. Who would be the office? What's her name? Mr. Babbage? The house manager who wrote, didn't she wrote the notes? Yeah, she wrote the note that we found in the drawer of the office. So I'm assuming this is Mr. Babbage, the house manager. Find the gem. Print note. Herbert has requested yet another print of her ladyship. Assume for you. On that photographer, he said the last development was too dark as to keep an eye for that. Okay. So the one with the birthmark here is her ladyship, Lady Clara Aspen, which we just know from the note from the West Wing. So this is Lady Clara Aspen. Have we seen that picture before? Yeah, wasn't she in the bedroom? What's a picture in the bedroom from a lady? Did she have that birthmark? I can't remember. And again, the orchid. Yeah, something is written in that. We need to come back to the dark room at some point with the magnifying glass whenever we find that thing. We need that all over the place. What was the other room? We needed it as well. But I'm assuming now that we have the light on, we can also see in this room. That's the negative effect of this room. Meanwhile, we are very short on steps. But we have 3 red rooms in the house. We know the kitchen is selling tomato soup for 5 coins. And it gives us 5 steps for every red room, which means that would meanwhile mean 15 steps already. Yeah, commissary, but we have no coins. The bedroom. What was going on with the bedroom? Something was going on with the bedroom. Can't remember what it was. Oh no, it was here on this square. We wanted to draft a nursery, which would give us 5 steps for every bedroom we had, but we had no bedroom in the house, so we drafted the terrace. But we still have to take the bedroom because it's our only way out. Or the commissary. But the commissary is a bit pointless. I assume we have no coins. That's the reading, like this picture, wasn't that? Oh no. No idea who this is. It's definitely not Clara Espen because she doesn't have the birthmark. That is a bathtub and a tube and tub, which means letter E. Makes sense because this is 8 again on that row. A small coin purse. Each time you collect 3 coins, you earn an additional 1. Okay, so this is a +1, which is great. But I have not seen 1 coin, and we have 20 rooms in our house. Wonderful. GG. The pantry runs into a dead wall of the closet. This is something which I always found very strange in this game. This is an L shape. We come in from here. Why doesn't it just go left? I'm still wondering how that works. Because sometimes you can get in this square the pantry and then it goes up. So sometimes it's pointed down, sometimes it's pointing up. Even after all that time playing, I still haven't figured out how that works. Why it gives you the room one time that direction and the other time drafting from the same side, it sometimes goes up. I'm wondering, is this intentional or does it matter where you come from? Like here we take a turn right, that it automatically turns right again. If we're coming from there, does it then turn left? I don't know. Or is it just random, or is it a bug? I don't know. This is an L shape. An L shape coming in from here should point out. Should not point into a dead wall, but it's what's gonna do though. So we basically we are dead because either way you turn or twist this, we have 3 dead ends. And that is of course the risk of locking off everything. You always want to have in every row at least 2 ways to get into that row. Preferably 3. And like here we had security. In the row 2 for instance, we had security to go to the 3rd room, and we had spare room to go to the 3rd row. In the 3rd row we had west wing, hallway and chapel gave us a way into the 4th row. And then we come into the 5th row, we only have the dark room, and that is the risk of only having 1 exit. If it gives you a dead end here, or turn and then a dead end like we have now, then the game is over. So the only thing we can do here is yeah, 4 items are not going to help us in any way because our game is over. So what we're going to do here is draft the nursery. Gives us 5 extra steps. And the sleeping mask will give us another 5. Wonderful. Here we have the rolling dice where we can use to draft the rooms and redraft the rooms if we don't like what we see. There's only one problem, we can't draft rooms anymore because we have dead-ended ourselves. The Red Prince by Marion Marigold. Marion is our mother. Mary Matthew, aka Marion. We know that from the letter from our dad, that Marion is Mary. So apparently our mother is a writer. Goes by the name of Marion Marigold, and she wrote this book. There was a red prince who sat on a red throne. He had a crown, rubies, and a red castle made of stone. So I'm assuming this is us. I'm assuming she wrote a book about us. The prince had a love for all things red. Little car, stop sign, fire hydrant, lobster, rose, and the red flags. Yeah, there's something going on here politically. We are in some sort of a red country, that's for sure. It's the only true color, and true is written in italic again. What did we have so far? Bridge, beside, west, and true. He could not stand the sight of a canary and a crow. So this is definitely a crow on the pictures. He could not stand the white of a swan in the snow. Yeah, the whole house is full of swans. There are a bunch of swans in the den. We saw in one of the vitrine cabinets in the bedroom, I think. There are also some paper swans. He never looked up for fear of the view. He had heard that the sky was not a red hue. So he always had a book to turn his eyes down if he was ever outside when the clouds weren't around. Red Prince with a red book. But the game is called the Blueprint, so... But yeah, there is some sort of dictatory going here with red, because our mother didn't like red, that's why she disappeared. She escaped from these red people. Is that why the book is called The Red Prince? Was she forced to make it everything red? And do you know which books the prince has always had? The one that made him happy whenever he was sad. The story has red in the bath and the bed, and maybe you can guess with the clues that we have said. It was the story of a boy who always wore red, and he looked like our prince from his toes to his head. And as my reader might already assume, this book is quite near you, in fact in the same room. There's something written here again, don't know what. Magnifying glass again, it's another room. That's 4 rooms already where we need a magnifying glass, I think. A story about you, if it needs to be said, about the Red Prince and his book, the red book we just read. So she wrote the Red Prince. But we know she didn't like red, which she ran away from it. But the whole room is in purple. So why is the red book in purple? Because our mother probably likes purple. There's also a pawn here in the nursery. So there's a red book in a violet room. Or purple room. So is that where she is? Because we already figured out we're in the red country. Did she disappear to the violet country? That is a pilot, and that is a how do you call that? Plot. Farmville to the rescue. If you ever played that game back in the day on Facebook, those were plots. You bought plots and then you could grow your trees in there. That's a plot and a pilot, so we are looking for an I over here, which confirms the 8. So yeah, Mom did not like red, although she wrote the book under her writing name. So that's what that seems to be. So Mary Matthew, our mother. writes books under the name of Marion Marigold. Other than that, we are done. So we'll just call it a day. What we do know is we need to find a magnifying glass. That is something we do know. We have the dark room, the nursery. There is something in that book there which I couldn't read, where we need a magnifying glass. We need a magnifying glass in the dark room to figure out what's going on there. One of the picture guys was holding something which we couldn't read. There is something on the tree, on the orchid picture. The nook. We have that note there where there is still a book on the note, picture of a book on the note which we can't read. There is also things scribbled down there. And then we have security or commissary, where there is that staff notice which has the terminal password, which we cannot read. We only know it starts with an S. That was the only letter we could more or less see. We are definitely in need of a magnifying glass. Yeah, where we call it a day doesn't matter. We can't build anywhere. We have no exits. So that's our goal for tomorrow. How long are we in? 55 minutes. We'll do another day in this episode. The goal for today is probably to get a commissary. So we'll save and continue. Get the commissary and see if they sell a magnifying glass. That's the goal for day 3. I'm gonna get rid of that useless room immediately. We'll go that way. We have the pin and the pine again. Observatory, that is a room we haven't drafted yet, but we do need a gem. Key is handy, coin is also handy. The nook shows up very often, I think. Pantry, of course, pantry also has food. That's always something you easily forget. Here we have that note again with the word bridge in italic. You combine that with the word nook, besides in the nook, I mean, the word besides. Here we have the stack in the tag again. We can just go up here. Okay. Let's do the storeroom. None of them are going up. We don't need to go left. We can get to that square from the hallway and from the den. So let's do the storeroom and get some resources. That's what this is. That's one of the rooms on the security screens. So this is a storeroom. That is a cart. How do you call that? A car? Cart with a T and the car, so this is a T. A key and a gem. Also here, this is also a pawn room. What's that? The bluebird. The bluebird, that was a thing that was in the campsite in our tent. That guy was lying there. Rocking horse. Yeah, there are also a bunch of vases in the house. So we were already wondering if we could break those at some point in time. They're locking us up again, just like in the previous day. None of the rooms are going up. Maybe I should have dropped it from the den to get an L shape. I'm not gonna spend my gem on the nursery, we just saw the nursery. The parlor will give us 2 gems, but let's do the closet. And the reason I do that is because I think we didn't have the closet yet. We need to fill up this grid as well here. Try to get all the rooms in the house to figure out what's going on. That's a bot and a butt. And a key. Oh no, a special key. The silver key. Unlocking a door with this key leads to a room with many doors. That is what we need. Like for instance on the den here would be great if we can get many doors. We'll first have a look on the spare room. Okay, so gems and keys in that room, I guess. An L shape of some sort would be nice. Oh! I think I'm gonna go for the key this time. Food is also handy to have around. But then we lose a gem again. Bedroom. That's a 0 room, but we've seen it already. I'm gonna go for the key. Yeah, this note here. On this note we have the word beside, so if we combine that with the pantry, we have beside the bridge. And there is this thing, so here also here, yeah, well, yeah, magnifying glass. Yeah, we don't need kitchen, we need commissary actually. Here preferably a west wing would be nice. Great. Or chapel. Or commissary. They're all 3 decent. But we have the den over here, we have the west wing over here, so we have already 2 exits to get into Rotary. So we want to go up, either with the chapel or the west wing. We'll do the west wing, that doesn't cost us anything. And that also means that we could potentially draft here above the spare room another dead end. If we get a new room here which is dead-ended, the plane and the plan again. We read that notice yesterday. We know Lady Espen passed away. Chapel complete. Our parlor is great. Will give us 2 gems. The passageway. 2 requirement gems. That seems to be a room you want to have somewhere in the middle of your grid. Let's do parlor. That we know that gives us the parlor game. And we also know that we need 40. That's something that I know. That you need 40 for the trophy. As a new player you don't know that, but... So you want to drop that very quickly. You drop it often anyway though, for the gems. Resources are quite important. There are 4 boxes in this room. That is a lie. There is only 1 box in this room. That is a lie. So we get 2 lies, so whatever Black says is true. The gems are in the true box. That is you yourself, aren't you? Nice. We have access to this. I want to see what's going on here. Let's start from left to right. Costing us an extra step, but the dining room. That's the first time we see this. That seems to be a good room. I am gonna draw from the dining room because if we get an L shape here, which goes up, or straight, then we don't need to be in the parlor. We have access to this square from two sides. The den we have to go all the way around again, so yeah, let's figure out what's going on in the dining room. It's also a pawn room. An intimate and warm room with a large dining table, boasting a service tray with a silver dome cover. Dinner is served here each evening. Each day a meal is served in the dining room after rank 8 has been reached. This is a standard room. Rarity, level 2 in other words. We have the crow again. And the rowboat, crow and row. Okay, so yeah, this is our dinner, but we need to reach rank 8, which is the pre-ultimate top row. If we reach rank 8, we can come back to the dining room and have dinner. We don't have the kitchen, so we don't know what's for dinner today. It could be something like salmon, and then you need the aquarium to get extra tips, or what was it yesterday? We needed the showroom for the porterhouse steak, I think. Something like that. So if it's steak, you need the showroom. If it's fish, we need the aquarium. We don't know what it is today because we don't have the kitchen. We have the boudoir, which has 2 rolling dice and a gem, because we cracked the safe there. And it still has an exit, which is pretty good, which gives us access to here. That means that we don't necessarily need anything here above the parlor and next to the dining room. We could put the dead end there. We can come up and right here this side from the den. We're gonna have to go back to the den after this though to figure out what's going on. I'm gonna do the boudoir. Pick up some items there. Those are our rolling dice, which means we have options to re-roll now. We don't like what we see, we'll pick up our gem. We have read the letter already. That was the letter from our dad, not being happy that our great uncle was sort of shutting up our things. We could potentially do a dead end. Or some new room. Or the commissary. We haven't seen the observatory yet. But the commissary, if that thing has the magnifying glass. No, let's do the observatory. We haven't seen that room yet. We can spin the globes. No, we can't spin this one. Only that one. No, we can also spin this one. Why can't we spin this one? The observatory is also a night room. So that's another one we can note down. The Fixed Stars, Constellations by Mr. Witt. Richard Witt. Another name we need to write down. Fen Aries. Bird and Sons Publishing. Is that where we are? Fen Aries? Is that the Red Country? This book contains a complete star base, a list of constellations and the observed effects that accompany the appearance of each one. Depending on the number of stars that can be seen in the sky on any given day, different constellations of various sizes might be visible. Sometimes more than one on a single day. Sometimes more than one on a single day. Okay. This book, a solid base for astronomy, will help you easily identify these constellations, impress your friends, and discover the joy of stargazing. Day 1, 1 gold. Day 2, the twins. 2 trunks have been added to the entrance hall. Okay. Day 3, plus 3 steps. Day 4, Diamondus Minor, 1 gem. 5 stars is the Southern Cross. Rooms with 4 doors are more common today. Farmer's Apple. Apples are extra delicious today. I'm assuming more steps for an apple instead of 2. Clap is the key will give us plus 1 key. Diamondus Major is 5 gems. Drax is the dead. Dead ends rooms are more common today. That seems to be a bad one. Avoid day 12, I would say. The sale, everything is 50% off today. That means that we can buy things cheaper in the commissary and the kitchen and so. And day 20 is Florealis Bloom of the Sky. Green rooms are more likely to contain special flowers today. Okay. So special flowers in green rooms on day 20, day 15, well not day, stars. Every time you drop this place, you will get 1 star extra. So it always goes up over time. So that seems to be an interesting room, and of course it jumps from 15 to 20. So let's say if it's 18, it's going to combine probably 15 and 3 or so. That's why it's saying that you can get more than 1 constellation a day. Okay, but this is the first time we drop this room. It's a tier and a tie again. I'm assuming we need to point the telescope over there at some point of time, or here or there. Okay, so this is up or down. Okay, and then we have to pull the other wheel to get it left or right. Let's first get it to there. Okay, that's not a good idea. Now we can't move anymore. Okay, let's first get it to here. See what that does. Okay. Now we can go up. And then bring it down. You found a secret floor plan. Would you like to permanently add the planetarium to your drafting pool? If you call it a day in the planetarium, you gain 2 stars. And then we get extra stars, and then we can skip for the observatory here. So yeah, yes. Okay, and now high enough. Now let's drop it, pull it to the other side. That's this side then. And point it at the sky. How many times is this? Like, oh, it's not high enough, I think. High enough? Okay, it's high enough. Yeah, okay, so 1, yeah, okay, what was it? 1 gold, yeah. The North Star. Also here I will fast forward. If there is something that you do not want, you don't need to click it. That's a mistake that many people make. Like, let's say if you're on day 27 and you have like a few of these things and Draxus is amongst them and you don't need it, you don't want it, don't drop them. Or sometimes you might have so many gems that you don't need the special flowers or something. Then you can just leave it be. Nevertheless, if you have enough gems, it's always interesting to drop this room and figure out how far you can go with it. To the den, I guess. We did this right, yeah. Let's see if we can get some access to that right side here, because we are pretty limited here. Oh, we haven't picked up this gem yet. Up and right, please. Yeah, we're gonna have to go passageway here. That gives us two options. Although the breaker box is also interesting, but that would then us here. No. And we have 5 gems meanwhile, so let's do the passageway. Also a room which we have not seen yet. Nope, we only had 3 so far, so passageway is also new. That's exactly what it is though. No painting, no items, nothing, just a cross. Let's see what east goes. Straight and left would be nice. We have access to this square from the boudoir. We have access to this square from the passageway. So let's do the corridor, which knows when that saves us a key. The lock and the clock again, which is the C from crack. Something that goes left. Okay. We could do drawing room. We should do drawing room because that costs us a gem, but we get it back because we have the save there. Dead end is turning into a dead end, and the nursery we don't need either, so let's do drawing room. Always decent. And once you have cracked the save, they stay open, luckily. That's not the case when I was playing the first time. We had to do these save things every time. Luckily they changed that. Up and left, or left, preferably both. East Wing Hall, greenhouse. We have not seen the East Wing Hall. We have not seen the East Wing Hall is great, but we have learned from one of the messages that there is a lever for the antechamber in the greenhouse. Although it was broken, they said. The power box is also interesting. I wanted to do the greenhouse. That's not the best room to choose here was the East Wing, obviously, but I want to know what's going on here. Okay, so we have access to the south. Okay, but the lever is broken, so we're gonna have to find the broken lever. And this can also be. This can be broken open with the same thing that will break open that wall outside, more than likely. We just need to find it. Sledgehammer, maybe. We have a shovel there. We have some music pages. This is one of those moments where you take a screenshot. We haven't had that much, not at all yet, I think. You're gonna find sometimes pages like this or pictures where you see. This is page 5 of a song of some sort, which kind of refers to the fact that there will be more pages. And as always, you always want to pay attention to these notes. In this case, you see that the word cheat is in bold. We have some notes with italic words. Now we are getting music pages with bold words. So yeah, we're obviously going to take a picture of this. If you are making notes and taking pictures, and then don't bother with it too much after that, because we need to find the other pages first. That's part of some sort of puzzle. We can use that shovel though. not to a smashed out wall. But we can dig in. Find a turnip with 6 steps, that's good. Coins. Okay, so we need to find a path to preferably the side of the antechamber, because that's what this thing opens. But then of course we need to find that lever. But then we have a way into the antechamber. We're far away from it, but so we found our first way of opening the antechamber. The greenhouse. We'll make a note of it. We're good in did we also, oh, we also have the silver key. We're actually pretty good shape here. We have 2 keys. We have the silver key. Like here, if I can hear, if this door would be locked, I'm gonna use a silver key, because that opens a door with many doors, so then we probably get a something like that, right? But of course it is not locked. Oh, great stuff. The dark room. Dark room. I'm gonna use my rolling die and redraw, because we don't have the power box in the house, so we cannot put on the light, so we cannot see our floor plans that we are gonna draw from that room. The furnace, you're more likely to draw red rooms while drafting. The furnace is one of those rooms, if we are on a dead day or something, and we have no more steps left or something, and we need to still draft one room and it shows up, that's when we will draft it. It probably will be the only time when we'll draft it, because it says you are more likely to draw red rooms while drafting. I will tell you, you can drop the word likely. It's just, if you have the furnace in your house, it's gonna give you every red room the whole time. So that is a room you do not want to draft until you have nowhere else to go and that thing shows up, then you can draft it, and then you have it in your floor plans and then never draft it again. The dark room is interesting. If we would have power in the house, which you normally put in the bottom somewhere, which we don't, we also don't have security, we're not in that good shape. So I'm gonna redraw and see if I can get something that goes right or up, preferably both. I don't want to go left, we can get there from the boudoir, but chapel is an option. The boudoir, border room, aquarium. Aquarium is every color of a room. That's more interesting. Or boiler room. One of these two. We've seen the chapel already. These are 2 new rooms. Let's do boiler room. That goes to the left. No, let's do aquarium, because that also goes right. We don't necessarily want to go to the left. We can get there from the boudoir. This goes up, this goes right. But if we can get an L shape here, we can get out. Let's do aquarium. Well, that's exactly what it is, aquarium. Is that the bedroom? No idea, haven't been there yet. Is that the terrace? No, it's not. That is a hallway, I think, some sort. And that is who knows what. A laundry by the looks of it. We have not seen the laundry yet. There's probably something going on with that as well. Great! Good thing we have a shovel to dig up some old tin. Let's go right first and see if we have a way out of here or not. Left, please. Left. It's useless to do many doors. We only need a door to the left. We don't need other doors because they will run into dead walls. I'm gonna use a normal key here. We're not gonna use our silver key here. That would be a waste. There we go. Breaker box could be interesting, but I want a way out of here though. Especially, see, we have 9 coins. Who knows? Maybe they sell the magnifying glass today. That would be great. They do, and that is only 4 coins. Definitely buy that stuff. Which leaves no money for anything else, but that's fine. That is fine, because we can immediately use that thing. How do you do that? Just dropped it. To read the word swan song, and that is the computer password. So from now on we can use the password in the computer, which we do not have in the house. Of course. Okay, now that's 1. How many steps do we have? 27. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because we want to know what this is all about. Puzzle notes. Blue is addition, yellow is subtraction, pink is multiplication, purple is division on a darts boat puzzle. Okay, whenever we run into that thing. That's the antechamber. Antechamber doors. Apply to be sealed by all those sides. Must be in a way to open it. Yeah, we know we need to open it with levers. We already know that. Levers, whatever. We know one is in the greenhouse, but it's broken. So there's something going on with colors in the darts board. We have not seen the dart board yet, but whenever it shows up, we know what these colors do. Yeah, we have seen the we saw the here we saw the dartboard in the accessibility color assist, I think it was. Yeah, here it shows the dartboard. So blue is add, minus, multiply, divide. Okay, so that's what that's about. Okay. No, that was a bit risky and risky, but if we now just go up and we draw from the boudoir, then it doesn't feel such a waste of steps. We obviously want to go left here. The cloister would have been nice. Then we could have gone straight to the, but we don't have the gems for it, of course we don't. Stupid bunk room. And it's gonna cost a lot of steps to get to the commissary. I'm gonna have to redraw here, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 steps to get back to the commissary. That's half of our steps. Now we're gonna have to redraw. We need to get a way out of here. The chapel is a way out of here and straight. It's gonna cost us a coin, but there, yeah, no doubt about it. Ah, look at that. They're repaying us. What day are we? Day 3. They're repaying us what we got, I think. Because one day we had the chapel here, we had to run around through it a few times, so we were probably still in a negative way, but... I don't know. Huh. I guess we have to go bedroom. Although... It's not looking good to get any further. We do not have that many steps, but here's what I'm thinking. If we put the utility box here, and we can draft the dark room from the commissary, then we can put on the light there and we can see we have our magnifying glass. There was a lot of stuff we wanted to see there. Nursery, we're never gonna draft that room again. We know what's in there. We've been there. We've written the red print book. Unless we can pull that into a corner here in the bottom, maybe. Otherwise, we're never gonna draft that room again. That's a stupid dead end. This is a way out, but I think I want power more than anything. Also, in case we drop the gymnasium, we will not lose steps. So, gymnasium off, garage on. The keycard system, at the moment we leave it on in case we find a keycard, because we don't have a computer in the house. This is just a plan where we hope, oh, every time it's gonna cost a coin when we come back to this, but yeah, whatever. And that coin is just good enough to not be able to buy whatever here, because they were 8, right? No. So I'm kind of hoping to get the dark room here right now. The billiard room. Puzzle. That's where the dartboard is. Okay, let's do that. It wants to give us the cloister. Yeah, we'll do billiard room. We haven't seen that one. That is a card and a chart, so letter H here makes sense. Another row where the word is 8, so this is the H from 8. And we just figured out from the Nook the rules of this thing. So blue was addition, so that's 9. 5 and 3 is 8. 13 minus 12, subtraction, so that's 1. 12 minus 5 is 7. 4 times 2, pink was multiplication, so 8. And it was in that order, I think, so it's like 2 times 10, 20. Here's the key cards. Okay, now we want to lock doors. Here's my problem, though. Yeah, we need something to the right. Otherwise, we're still dead. Now I'm gonna use the silver key. That should give us a way out of here, right? It's a great hall. 7 locked doors. Great. We have 1 key. The archive is a way out of here. While drafting, you will no longer be able to see all 3 potential floor plans. We have only 12 steps. No. I know it's a dead end, I know we are dead, but we're dead anyway. We don't have enough steps to go around. So we're gonna sacrifice this day to see what's in the dark room. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Yep, that's just what we can do. Put on the light, see what is going on there, and that's that. Make sure we're taking the right pathing, because we're slow on steps. We have to do this. These are choices you have to make because we have the magnifying glass. We will not have the magnifying glass tomorrow, so we had to do this. Now, where was that picture with the valet showcase? He had like he was holding a note. This one. Green, what is it? Green memos? Green memos found in Hartley's room are always false. Who's Hartley? Is it green? We can't see it. He's holding his finger on it. I think it's green. EEN. Gotta be green, right? Green memos found in Hartley's room are always false. But it's also possible it's a red that is, he's laughing. They're trolling us. That might also be a case. Or are you Hartley? That's also possible. That he's trolling us, that he's Hartley himself. That's also a possibility. We also wanted to see what's in the orchid. $11.28. $11.28. It's going to be the code for that gate. That's the tier and the tiger, so it's a letter G over here. Makes sense. That's a G of 8. Was that it? Now we got a key. We've seen the rest. It was that note, and it was, but what was the other one? Oh, I think we saw everything we needed to see, right? We read that road here. We saw the code for the orchid. In the commissary, we saw that the password for the computer is Swan Song. And in the Nook, it explains us the rules of the darts game, and then surprisingly we get the billiard room for the first time. So did we actually had to read that before you even see the billiard room? That might be actually a thing that I never considered that. I don't think so though, because I think I didn't even look at that note on my main playthrough the first time, but I don't know. It's like it's more than a year ago. We're obviously dead. So we know the code for the orchid, but there's no way we can go outside to the orchid. Even outside we already lose 3 steps. We only have 3 steps left. So I'm gonna have to leave it at this. And then we'll go from there. I think I've done everything I could. We have no more way out, so we can't go any further. But we had the magnifying glass, I had to do this. I could have drafted the archives, also a room we had not seen yet, and it would have given us a way out. But because we had the magnifying glass and we had the rooms that we wanted to see in the house with the magnifying glass, I think I had to do this. Given the fact we were also less than 10 steps, we were not going any further anyway. We dug up in the greenhouse and the aquarium. We have no dirt piles anywhere else, so there's no other way we can dig up something. Magnifying glass did its job in the dark room, in the commissary, in the Nook. Can't recall any other note or whatever that we wanted to see. Yeah, the security, but we know that the blue memos are true, red memos are false, and then there was a small print there, which personally I used my IRL magnifying glass to read that said unless handwritten. So we know that the red memos in the house are false unless they are handwritten. And whatever we needed from the rooms that we saw so far with a magnifying glass, it has done its jobs very good today. So we're gonna leave it at this. I'm gonna call it a day. I am calling it, and this time we will save and quit, because the last time I saved and continue and then I went to the bakery. Resulting in the fact that by the time I was back it was already 2:30 when we started the episode. Normally you start the day at 8 in the morning. Not that it matters much. Mid-sized villa, 24 rooms. We found 7 new rooms today. That's possible. Observatory, dining room, aquarium, greenhouse, billiard room. Drawing room was also the first time today, I think. No, storeroom, closet, yeah, storeroom, closet, observatory, dining room, that's 4, aquarium, billiard room, and greenhouse. Those were new compared to the first 2 days. Not bad. We can do 5 to 10 rooms every day. We will get there. And I will save and quit this time. Don't need to leave your game over for half an hour when you're not in the house. And then next time we can just continue on day 4. So yeah, not a bad episode. We discovered all kind of things, so what's gonna happen next time is we will start a new day. We're gonna go outside and open the orchid. Now that we have the code. When we start the next day we will have 50 steps, so we will sacrifice a few steps to go to the orchid and see what is going on there. And then the next objective for that day will be to get a computer and see what is going on in that network there now that we have the password. Either in the office or the security or the laboratory, of which we know those 3 rooms have a computer. We will see. As for this episode, this will be it. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you shortly in episode number 3. We'll see you guys then. Bye bye.